And today we have Agata Sitko joining us today. Introduce yourself, please, Agata.
Hi, I'm Agata. I've been competing for over 3 years, and I've managed to get like first at equipped IPF Worlds in 2021, second at Classic IPF Worlds 2022, and first at the World Games 2022.
Oh wow, yeah, yeah. I believe we all watched that and saw that was like an immense performance. So I don't know, in terms of like questions being asked, I kind of want Durance to lead this one because I know you two have literally met face to face in Worlds this year. Um, so I don't know if Durance wants to go with the first question or should I or
Yeah, I think I'm gonna start with a bang here, Agatha, right? Because a lot of people have listening few podcasts across that you've done. You've mentioned about your training style. Can you just tell us how many days a week do you do SPD?
I do 6 SBD sessions per week.
six
Look,
SBD sessions?
Yep.
Is the intensity all the same or does it vary? What's the is there a
Well,
fluctuation?
there are some days with higher intensity and lower volume, and days with high volume and very low weight. So, like
Would you
varies.
say that that's influence? Because I know you do both equipped and raw classic. Would you say that that training style is influence from how you um practice your equipped? Because I've been introduced to equipped lifting myself, and they pretty much do that. The fluctuation of low intensity, high volume, low volume, higher intensity, sort of. Is it because of that, or
Um, I don't know. It's like you just have to do something different when you do 6 sessions a week. It's like you can't always do the same.
ha- have you always since the very beginning trained 6 days a week?
No, when I started, I trained for only like 3 days a week. Then I increased this to 5 days a week, but it wasn't always SBD. And I started doing SBD 6 times a week this at the beginning of the year.
And is oh, just beginning of this year alone, and
Yep.
obviously it's you know as the evidence is there, it's been paying off really well.
Mm.
Is that with the collaboration with your coach? Because obviously I'm not too familiar yet with the background. We'll get to that. Um, but is it with a coach that you're working with right now? That's prescribed the 6 days a week SBD.
No, it was my idea. I started working with him after I started doing this. So I've been self-coached till March this year.
What? So
wow,
pretty much leading up to, I believe,
world.
no, not even Worlds. Was it the Nationals in Poland
Yeah.
this year? You were coaching yourself,
Yep.
and then after that, that's when you took on a coach.
Yes.
What was it? What made you decide to get one? Because we've spoken to others, and um usually it was so that they could get themselves just to that much more of a level and they wouldn't hurt themselves so much or something along those lines. But what was the reason for you?
My main reason was that I didn't know how to coach myself for equipped, and
Ah,
so I wanted someone to help me with that. And yeah, I also needed someone to wrap my knees and stuff like that.
yes, of course. Obviously, because it's very tiring to just do it by
Mm.
yourself with
Oh
every
yeah,
set. Yeah,
like I don't think you
So
can do it as you can wrap your knees as tight as someone can do it to you.
so
exactly.
this coach, does he just look after you for the equipped or for both?
I mean, he looked at my program and told me that it's okay, it works, so there's no need to change anything. He prescribes me some accessories to like work on the imbalances and stuff like that, and he takes care of the equipped side. So
Oh,
That's brilliant. I mean, yeah, I know I jumped the shot a bit by coming to how many times you do SPD because this has been discussed across the powerlifting family. Everyone have been saying, "Oh, Agatha does SPD 6 days a week." I don't know how you recover, girl. I really have no idea. My question would be like, how do you recover after that 6 days a week equipped? Because at the moment I'm doing, I used last block, I did 3 days a week SPD. and now I turn it down to 2 days, but still my body's thinking like, hell, that's a lot. So how do you recover from that?
Well, it's not like I'm always recovered. It's just that some sessions are lighter, so I can do them even while feeling very sore and tired. But like you can get used to it. It was really hard
Mm.
at the beginning. I thought about quitting in like second and third week, but I got through this, and now I'm kind of used to it. So I feel bad when I don't hit 6 sessions, and then I'm much weaker the next week.
Have you tweaked or changed how you eat at all, or just uh, even to I'm not sure at what level you you take your whatever take in, like consume, even like, do you have your multivitamins? Do you eat a certain calories and macros a day on rest days, or do you also get your steps in as well? Like, is there anything in particular that you do?
Oh wait, because my internet isn't. I must switch my internet because.
Yeah, no worries, no worries. Hello.
We're back.
Is it okay? Okay. Can you repeat the question?
Oh yeah, sorry. I was just asking about your food intake and if there's anything else like supplements that you take also, just to aid like your frequency of SBD, like 6 days a week. Like, how much do you eat a day? Do you do, you know, your cardio as well, like getting your 10,000 steps in?
Well, I try to walk at least an hour a day, although not all, I don't always have time. And when it comes to food, I try to eat healthy and I track protein. And
So it's just
when
protein that you track.
yeah,
Okay, so
main
you don't really watch the carbs or the fat so much.
no, not really.
Oh wow, that's a
That's
very,
impressive.
yeah, it's very different to what we've heard compared to other powerlifters. Obviously, it's what works for different people works differently. Like they do different things too. Like you do 6 days SBD. Like we've spoken to Enna, and he only deadlifts once a week. Like
Mm.
that's crazy difference, right? So you're 6 times a week, he's once a week, but again, it's working for you. Um, like,
Mm.
and speaking of what's working for you, like I said, we were going to speak about your background as well. What got you into powerlifting, and why, and what was it about powerlifting that made you stay uh to
Mm.
keep going?
I started lifting at home with like dumbbells, bodyweight exercises, and stuff like that. And I got really interested in that, like how training, healthy lifestyle, diet kind of thing. I watched a lot of
Ah.
YouTube about that. And I saw people go to the gym, and I was like, yeah, I don't have enough weights at home. I want to go to the gym. And somehow for YouTube, I found out about powerlifting. I saw a girl compete at the Worlds, and I was like, oh, I can bench more than her, and she went to the Worlds. I completely didn't take into consideration the fact that she was like 20 kilos lighter or something.
Oh
Like
wow.
I thought that it looked fun. I wanted to try it, so I went to the gym and I started like I went to a commercial gym for a month. Then I joined powerlifting club and started training for powerlifting specifically, and I liked it from the very beginning. It's just like I don't know. I finally feel like I found the sport for me that I'm like made for because I've always wanted to try
Wow.
every sport ever that exists.
What
I was
other what
always
other
told that
what other sports did you try?
I've done some horse riding,
Whoa,
Whoa.
equestrian.
but it was more for fun than like for competing. And apart
Mhm.
from that, I just said that I want to do this, then this, and this, but I never picked up anything.
And then you found powerlifting, of course. I actually want to ask. You said you saw a girl in the World Championships benching, and you bench more than her. Do you remember who it was?
Serena Avwe, I'm not sure how to pronounce her last name,
Where was she from again?
from the USA, a
Hmm.
junior lifter.
Okay.
Oh, I see.
Oh.
Okay. You yourself, you're still a junior right now, aren't you?
Eh,
Like,
Yeah, and you're doing the juniors world championship in Turkey as well, right?
yes, but I'm going there for fun, just like
I
yeah,
mean,
with my
because
friends.
yeah, because that was gonna be the next question. Is like, obviously you've done the Open, you've literally faced the best of the best in the world, in obviously in comparison to juniors. So, do you feel as though there's less pressure from doing juniors because you've already faced against the Jessica Butners, the the Sophia Ellises?
Yeah, definitely. Like, it's junior, not open. So yeah, I'm
so
just going there because my friends are going and I want to go with them.
so you're
Whoa.
just going to have fun
Turkey.
because even on your worst day, you will win, isn't it?
You can never be sure, but why not?
By the way, let me just get this right. Agatha is still a student, right?
Yeah.
So how, because I know we do speak to a lot of juniors and a lot of students, and we know with that age gap, every time they hit certain age, life responsibility comes in, a lot of them intend to fade off. So how do you keep yourself motivated while you're studying and doing powerlifting? How do you manage both?
Yeah, my grades aren't the best, so there's that. I I don't know. I like maths, so it's not something I have to I don't know, motivate myself to do. And with
Mm.
powerlifting, I just love sitting at the gym. So yeah,
How,
I
how many
like both.
how many hours in the gym do you stay for? Sorry, like
It depends on how much time I have, but usually like 4 hours, but sometimes 5 or 6 for equipped sessions. So
6 hours.
And then you have time to study after that.
I don't have a lot of time to study. As I said, my grades
No,
aren't the best.
but let's go back to 6 hours. Is that obviously 2 hours each for pretty much squat, bench, deadlift, right?
Well, that's how equipped works. I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
there's a lot
yeah.
of talking and yeah, sitting
Well,
and
obviously
just
you need
wasting
to
time.
rest. You need to rest in between the sets and to wrap the knees and to make
Yeah.
sure your bench shirt is sitting right and everything. But wow. And do you still continue with the equipped training even though you're prepping for a classic competition?
No, I'm currently not doing equipped. I wanted to take a break from this anyways after the World Games, so
Yeah.
not
Um
training equipped till at least the end of the year.
I saw the gap between you and second place at the World Games. How did you feel about that? Because obviously we have our opinion, but I just want to hear how you felt about it. Were you just in the zone, focusing on you, or were you just like, wow, so this is the level you're at, or how did you feel about the
I I didn't really pay attention to like
you
the gap. I
so basically you didn't worry.
No, not really. I was mad at myself for doing less than we planned to hit from openers. So like paid attention to that more than the gap
I
between
mean,
me and second place.
I'll go back about, 'cause I know I wanted to touch on this. The World Games, right? Because I watched the World Games live, and you miss your first bench and the second. And I don't know, I've never been in that position where you're competing against millions of people watching at home, and you got one attempt to make this or go home. How did you feel when you had to come out for your third attempt bench, which was 195, by the way, 195 kilos? Let's put it there. How did you feel you coming out for that third attempt?
I was actually pretty relaxed. I was sure I was gonna get it. Like I knew what to do to be able to bench that, and I was just wondering why is everyone so stressed about it? Like I know I'm gonna hit it, something like that.
I
Would you
was sweating for you.
Yeah, Yeah. I've got a lot of messages about causing heart attacks and
would you say bench press is your favorite lift? Because we've mentioned it,
yeah,
like when you first started, you were like, I can bench more than this girl. So would you say it's your favorite lift?
definitely.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
Um,
the
you know
least
what?
tiring
Me too.
one.
Me too. It's my favorite lift as well. It's I don't know. It's just it's so beautiful, right? Especially in equipped. 195 kilos. Any wrong move you do, like you could either hurt yourself, like God forbid, kill yourself.
Yeah.
Because I remember back in, I think, 2019 World Bench, there was this lady from Finland that snapped her forearm from a quick bench, and it was tragic, right? Like ambulances came, they had to pause the World Bench for a while. But leading up to that, would you ever do just like a bench only, like equipped bench worlds or bench only worlds even?
Yeah. I mean, I'd like to, but I just compete so often that it's like too often. Yeah. There's too much anyway, so doing bench only would be too much.
so since you
Okay.
mentioned that you compete often, is this something like going forward is something you're going to look at and slow down and be a little bit picky about what competition are you doing, or you're just going to carry on what you're doing now?
Well, I've been thinking I should start doing this for like 3 years, but I always end up doing the same thing. So I guess I'm gonna try to compete less, but it's really hard for me to stop myself from competing. I just like it too much.
You just enjoy it so much.
Yeah.
Especially you
Plus,
have
like,
got
I don't know. We have
you
Europeans in Poland this year, so
Yes,
I have to
exactly. So
compete
you have
there.
home court advantage pretty much. Like, is it quite close to where you live, the Europeans?
Well, I think 2 hours in a car,
I mean, it's better than 2 hours on the
so
plane.
it's pretty close.
yeah. I think that's why I asked you. I
Yeah,
was cheeky.
definitely.
I was cheeky when I asked you that question. Are you doing the Europeans? Because I know it was in your country, but I wanted just to get your reaction and see, are you actually doing it? Because I know you've done classic, you've done world games, and you've done the European equipped, and now you're doing juniors. So I asked you, are you gonna do the Europeans? And you said to me, it's at home. That's what you said to me. It
Yeah,
is at home. So I guess that you will be there.
yeah, definitely.
So going back a little bit like backward, like let's rewind a little bit because I was there in South Africa as we mentioned, and I know the whole world is talking about the 76, right? So it's leading to that competition at the 76 in South Africa. How was your prep? Because the reason I'm asking for this is because you and Jess did something that no one was almost expecting in terms of like the battle was fierce. So I'm gonna ask, how was your prep leading to that championship?
It wasn't the best. Like, yeah, that wasn't the prep I expected, and that wasn't the comp I expected. And yeah, I didn't really take into consideration how much equipped would affect my classic, and I've totally forgotten my deadlift technique for raw, and I just didn't know how to deadlift anymore. And like, I had to take a deload 3 weeks out because I was just too tired from all that stuff. So wasn't perfect, definitely.
Yeah,
So that
I was gonna ask though, can you explain a little bit more about that? As because obviously not many. It's I've in my on the top of my head, it's only you and Tony Cliff that I know that does competitions in both the classic and equipped. Can you explain the difference in the how the technique execution is for the different lifts for both equipped and classic, please? Like what makes it so different?
Well, for squat, for example, some people change stance to be able to hit depth.
Mm,
It's like you have to be more upward, like
yeah,
to
yeah, of course. Because obviously, if you lean too far forward, that's when it
mm,
goes over your neck, pretty much.
yeah. but like for me, the biggest difference in deadlift, for example, is that I start with my hips much lower, and I just like I don't know, it's just different. So when I set up for classic deadlift, I start with my hips with myself more over the bar, and then I get into the right position and start pulling. And for equipped, I just start in this position and start
Mm-hmm.
pulling from there. So it's more static without this movement of getting into the right
Yeah,
position. And
it's less
I
dynamic. Yeah.
yeah, I transferred it to classic and it didn't work at all. So I'd end up starting with my hips much lower than I should, and then they would rise first, and it just made it much harder. And then I watched some videos of me deadlifting few months ago, and I saw this, and I was like, oh, so that's what's changed. And
Yeah.
that's when I realized that my
So
technique just completely changed.
so you learn from watching yourself lifting.
Yeah, and from watching other people and just analyzing, comparing, and stuff. Yeah.
That's very impressive.
When you say watch other people, are you talking about watching lifters that you're training around with, or it's what I'm gonna get to into like literally after this is, are you watching other lifters that you're gonna compete against? Is that what you're doing?
That too. But for example, when it comes to technique, I just like for deadlift, for example, I followed Deadlift Panda, and uh, I learned a lot from him because he has this
Yeah.
serious common deadlift mistakes, and that helped me a lot. And yeah, I just follow people on Instagram, watch their technique and their advices, and then I analyze my own videos, and that's how I learn.
Whoa. So do you
That's
have
amazing.
do you have different people that you watch on Instagram for the different lifts? So obviously you mentioned Deadlift Panda for deadlifts. How about for like bench and squat?
Well, for bench, I feel like I've always had a pretty good technique, so I
Mm-hmm.
didn't need to learn that. And for squats, well, mm, I've never really focused on my squat technique as much. So just the deadlift.
So it's bench you can watch yourself then, I guess, because I mean, what ladies in the IPF are 76 or under bench is 145. By the way, you bench more than some of the men's. I'm just want to put it out there.
Well,
So
but there's another 76 kilo junior lifter who hit 150 bench in training yesterday, I think.
But that was
Laura
training.
from France.
that
That
was
was
training.
training.
Yeah,
I think we can
but
both
she hit
agree.
141 in competition.
And what did you hit in competition?
145. So it's
Okay,
not a
so
Exactly.
big
it's still more.
difference.
It's still more.
It's more, but it's not a big difference.
So, I mean, you go and tell Anna that Anna bench 145 just like you. So a 3 kilo body weight senior. So so going back to again South Africa, because I had so many vivid memories in there. I were you expecting, you said to myself like you were not expecting the battles that you went through, right, with Jessica, but in the back of your mind, did you know that going there it would be tough to beat Jessica?
Yeah, of course. Especially with her tune-up meet. Like, I don't remember how. When was it? That Canadian Nationals?
That was a couple months just
2
before
weeks
World,
out,
isn't
3
it?
weeks
Yeah,
out?
yeah. It was like
Few weeks, I
four,
think.
5 weeks out. Yeah.
Yeah, so I saw her there and she hit 577.5 and she had much more left in the tank. And I was like, fuck, it's gonna be tough.
So what number was you looking for at World? Were you thinking a particular number, thinking, okay, if I can hit this number, I can win. But if I hit this number, I will probably be in the mix. Did you had a number that you were looking for?
Well, at like, I don't know, 2 months out, 3 months out, I thought about 600 kilo total. I think if it wasn't for equipped, I would be much closer to this number. But like, yeah, I knew that somewhere around 580, 590 would be at least needed to win. So
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
Which you was right, which was right yourself. So, and again, another question on the 76, right? When you see people like Jess coming in, and there is the lady coming from New Zealand that probably you guys are going to face again next year. what's her name again, Joey?
Carlina.
Carolina is coming in, so it's not going to be it's not going to be a 2-fight battle anymore. It's going to be like 3-4. So are you getting excited?
Yeah, definitely. I thought about it yesterday and I was like, should I need to put even more work in and focus even more to be the strongest? It's getting tough.
Yeah. What do you think of like the I know you haven't faced Carlina before, and obviously you have gone against the Jessica Butner who you witnessed yourself. But what do you think of Carlina? Because just to give you a little background, my coach is Carlina's coach.
Oh,
Yeah, so
So he's
I
trying to get information, Agatha.
no,
Be careful
no,
what you say.
it's not information on Agata's training per se. It's just I want to pick Agata's brain in terms of what she thinks of what Carlina might bring. Because obviously I could talk to my coach. He can. It's his choice whether he could tell me whatever Carlina can do. But I want to know what you think from either what you've seen on Instagram or something. Yeah.
definitely a 600 plus kilo total coming soon. From
Woo!
what she's been posting recently, it looks like this. So yeah, it's getting really exciting. I need to get to that range too very soon.
Do you reckon you're in? Do you reckon
Hopefully,
you're in that range as well next year?
hopefully, yeah,
I mean,
I think so.
I mean, if you have to consider the factors, right? Say, for example, you know, it's you, Jess, Carlina in the mix for like vying for first place. Worlds next year is in Malta, so in terms of like just the external factor alone of travel time, for you to get to Malta is a relatively much shorter distance as in comparison to someone from New Zealand and someone from Canada.
Mm,
So, do you reckon, you know, with all the forces that be, that you'd have a slight more advantage when it comes to not being worn out from travel times or time zone change and all that stuff?
that's definitely very helpful because like traveling is really uh, affects you a lot, and I've seen this
Mm.
at the World Games, especially after coming back to Poland from the USA. I felt like trash for like a whole week. I couldn't eat, I couldn't sleep. I even like threw up one day and stuff like that. So it was really, really bad. So not having a time change is,
And it was even worse than what you experienced at South Africa then.
oh, it's the same time zone as Poland.
Oh, fair,
So
but
yeah,
it's just a downward sort of flight, isn't it?
Yeah,
But I guess the time zone was the same, so you were
yeah.
good.
yeah, but the travel was really long. So
So
What was longer? Was USA longer to travel to, or was South Africa longer?
I think it was pretty the same.
Oh wow, okay.
yeah. Going. I mean, again, I know we spoke about Colin and Jess, but next year, so the battle is coming, right? And you're excited. I can see in your face you're excited about it. And potentially at the juniors, I don't expect you to push, but you're gonna win that one anyway. At the Europeans, am I going to expect a 600? Because I'm going to be there in the front row watching. Am I going to expect a 600 total from you?
Well, at this point, I can't really say because, as I've said, I when I came back from the USA, I felt really bad. I didn't train for a week, and I'm not really sure where my strength is at now. So we'll see about that. But I'm not planning to push really hard, and I want to just get off the platform and go to finish my session. So like, but hopefully, I hit a PR. We'll see.
Yeah.
So that's
W-
600 we're expecting there. Then I guess the PI is 600.
You see, you see that week that you took off after the World Games. Is that the longest time you take off from training, or the longest time you've taken off from training?
I didn't take a whole week off. I trained on like Wednesday. Then I
So,
got sick on Thursday.
oh
I did only
no.
bench on Friday, and then a very light session on Saturday. But it wasn't like, I wouldn't call it training. I just went to the gym and just like lifted, I don't know, 90 kilos on bench. 100 kilos on squats and stuff like that. So, but yeah, it was the longest I took off in, I don't know, 2 years or three.
Whoa, yeah, because
And
the reason I ask is we've spoken to Corentin Clement from France, and he's been training for I think 4 years now, right, Durance?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he literally told us that he's never taken more than 3 days off training, even after competition in the years that
yeah,
he's been training, and I found that so I didn't know whether to call it borderline crazy or just like pure dedication. You know what I mean? Like I asked him, does he take holidays? He said no. Like he'd rather
oh,
train. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
So
so
is
you
it
too, you don't take holidays?
I mean, I usually go to the gym if I can.
say
So
you
when
do say you do
I'm after a
travel.
comp,
Say you do travel, I don't know, with family or with friends or something like that. Like I've done this. Like I've gone somewhere, say like when I went to Philippines or when I went to I don't know anywhere I go to, I find a gym there to train at and just fit it in. Like during would you do the same? Is that would you? I don't know if you've done it before, but would you do the same thing?
yeah, if I can't make 100% sure I have a place to train, I just don't go there with them. I'd rather stay at home and go to the gym than travel and not be able to train.
Wow.
See, this is exciting to hear. Just you see, you hear other people's perspective in terms of how much they love their training. Is like it does excite people like myself, and I'm thinking, oh, I still got a lot of ground to cover, even though you are a seasoned international. But when you hear other people, you're thinking, oh my god, I'm still behind. So you are looking to not go on a holiday, just stay at home and train.
Yeah, I I don't even really enjoy sightseeing that much. I'd rather sit at the gym. We have like air conditioner there and stuff like that. I don't like getting overheated, so
Well,
So
is it not hot right now in Poland?
it's very hot. It's like wait, currently around 30 Celsius degrees, so like every day, 30
that's
or more.
mad. That's crazy. That's crazy. The other question I had, Agatha, for you is, I know the whole world is talking about potentially the rematch of this, right? Which is in Malta next year, whether you like it or not, it will happen because that's the world championship. That's where everyone expecting, including Carolina. So if if you get that wild card for Sheffield, because I can see it coming. Right? I can see it coming for you. Literally, I can see it. If you get a wild card for Sheffield, does it mean at the Europeans you don't need to push to break those world record and keep it for Sheffield? Because again, for instance, what Table Tiff did in South Africa, she smashed it, 426 kilo, and in Sheffield, she need to beat that. So it's gonna make
Yeah,
it worse. So, but people like Taylor Howard, it was a little bit diplomatic about his total 790 order, and then say, okay, I'm gonna smash at Sheffield. Is it the mindset that you have yourself? Because I know that wild card is coming. It is on the
yeah.
post.
That's why I've decided to compete in the 81st at the Junior Worlds, and I'd probably do the same for the Europeans. But then again, there's Carolina who's gonna break those records anyways. So I don't know if that will change anything.
Oh, is it Carlin? Oh, Carlin is doing the Commonwealth, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, that's interesting. So that means at Sheffield is a dogfight. That's exciting.
It will be tough.
That's exciting. So, is there any apart from that the 76? Right, I know Polish powerlifting. When I joined powerlifting. When you talk about Poland, I used to see Christoph, right? And Christoph is a monument, right, in powerlifting. He will come in, he will be last in the list, and he'll come in, open his deadlift, and win the world championship. That's how Christoph used to do it. So that's what I knew about Christoph. So can you just talk to us about how the powerlifting sport in Poland is at the moment? Because there's yourself coming in, there's a couple masters that are really, really strong coming from Poland. And since Christoph just gone, and the Polish national team, correct me if I'm wrong, has not been as strong as before. So what has done that?
I don't really know. I haven't been around for that long, but I think it's just that the entire world is getting that much stronger. Maybe it's not a very popular sport in Poland. So when I talk to someone and I tell them I'm a powerlifter, their usual reaction is, "Oh, that's where you throw the bar over your head, right?"
Yeah.
So,
all of us.
Oh my days. I think we've all
Yes.
experienced that.
All of us.
Yeah.
You know?
So when people ask, so what do you lift? You're like, oh, I don't know, 140 kilos, and they're like, oh, you throw 140 kilos above your head, and you're like, no, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I always have to show them what squat, bench, and deadlift look like because they just can't understand. I try to explain it with words.
Yeah.
You started competing what, 2018 was it?
2019.
No, 20, what was it?
19, yeah.
Oh, 2019. Sorry, okay. 2019. Has from your perspective, has it changed in Poland, like either in terms of like popularity or even like the different faces that you see? Has it changed much since you started?
To be honest, I don't think it's gotten more popular. Just people who compete changed. So there are a lot of people who competed 3 years ago that I don't see anymore, and there are often many new faces that I don't recognize. But yeah.
Yeah, because the reason I asked that is because in other nations, like for example over here, there's a rise now of like junior lifters. I'm pretty sure there's many junior 76s that's definitely heard of you from over here. I mean, you're a junior that competed in the Open, they got second place, and like they must have seen it in the live stream or the Olympic channel that you yourself was front and center cheering on for Jess while she was on her way to pretty much out total you, right? And the biggest like sort of, I don't know, we've discussed it, but what was it that was just like, you know, encouraging you to cheer for her like right in front?
Well, I think everyone wanted to see that deadlift. It was just really exciting. The biggest deadlift in female powerlifting history in IPF. So like, just wanted to see her lift that as everyone.
But on the flip side though, she was that if at the time if she got it, she would have beat you, right? And we've asked a bunch of people, right? If they're on the way to win world championship, a world championship for the first time, would they cheer on someone that might get it? And the popular answer was no, they wouldn't. So
I didn't know it.
That's why
I just feel like
when I saw that, right, I took it in, and I was like, yeah, that was, this is the spirit of powerlifting. Everyone supports each other. But I don't know, a little voice in my head was saying, you know what, Agata's doing this now, but I think she knows something we don't know, and that's because she may be looking at it as Jess might win it this year, but I'm definitely gonna get it next year. Is that something that entered your mind?
maybe.
I just had to make sure, because no way is someone that confident to, like, again, cheer someone on as well as obviously be happy for them if they didn't have, like, I don't know, a confidence for what's to come, like the next year and the year after. Like, for we know right now at this moment in time, we're talking to someone that's going to win next year, that's going to win the following year, and become, a reigning, defending, like, 76 champion at Worlds. Do you know how amazing that sounds? And I'm pretty sure that's the goal you have in mind.
Definitely. I hope it will happen. Yeah.
What
Like no, I'm
should
not.
should you win your first? What would be the first thing that you'd want to do? Like, would you want to keep it up, or would you be like, you know what, let me focus on equipped?
I like classic more for the moment, so I'm planning on focusing on classic for now. I don't know how long, maybe till the next World Games. I still have some goals in equipped, but I just want to take a break from this and just really focus on that role.
So that means if you do this, that's danger for anyone that does classic. Because as you mentioned, classic took a lot out of you. I mean, equipped took a lot out of you before the World Games. That's what probably affected your performance. And if you focus on classic alone, we are expecting something probably that's never been done, I guess.
Hopefully, that's the plan.
So on the competition itself, Agata, because we've asked this question to a few people, do you give your numbers to your coaching staff, or you let your coaching staff decide for you on the competition day?
Well, it's usually a mix of both. We just look at my training videos and decide what numbers would be good, and then if there's a need, we change it during the warm up if we see that something's off, or
Mm.
so it's more like cooperation than one side decision.
So like, for instance, right, in South Africa, on your bench press, this is the bench press I'm talking about. I know everyone are talking about this bench press. And myself, to
Did you
be
see
honest,
that bird in the background, bro?
is that a bird?
Yeah, that's my parrot. Yeah,
Oh
that's my
wow!
parrot.
I was thinking raw.
You know, as soon as I spoke about bench, the bird came out. I mean, that bird like bench as well. So why didn't you chip, Agata?
I mean, first of all, we knew that this would deadlift the world record, so that wouldn't change anything.
Mm.
And I knew that 2.5 kilo wouldn't have helped anyways. And as you could see, yeah, I think this would definitely be able to deadlift 2.5 kilo more. I've lost some weight on squats. I expected to finish with a 205 or 207.5 squat. So
Yeah.
I just wanted to collect, not, just get more kilos on bench. Plus, I was more confident with 150 bench than 237.5 kilo deadlift, because I felt that in training, not that like very close to comp, and I've
Mm.
managed to bench 147.5 pretty easily, and that 145 felt and looked pretty light as for me, so I was just like pretty confident with that bench
Yeah. No,
and
I
not very
agree.
confident with my deadlift.
Oh well, like when I saw that bench, I'm not gonna lie, that was fast. That 145 was way faster than I've ever moved 145, right? And I got scared
Yeah, my
because I
bench
was,
usually looks like this or it doesn't move at all, so
yeah. Oh man, like
Uh,
you were definitely exciting to watch. That's all I'm gonna say. And I don't know if you were as excited as the viewers, not just in the competition on the platform itself, but like how about on like the entire experience? Like what did you think of, like, I don't know, people from the other teams or other countries even? Did you get to meet a bunch of people? I know you met Durance, and he sort of spoken to me like how you two were sitting next to each other, and he just randomly started speaking to you and you were all cool with him. But were you not like sort of, I don't know, like a bit, I don't know, weirded out, but like, not just with Durance. I'm not taking the piss, Durance, but like
no,
just,
you are, but don't worry, it's fine.
but like, is there anyone that's sort of like, oh wow, I'm not used to this, or like, is there anyone that you, I don't know, met and was like, wow, it's so cool to meet this person?
well, everyone I've met there, it's like I've been following people on Instagram, and just so exciting to see all of them.
Yeah. Were they everything that you expected to be?
I mean, I haven't talked a lot to people. I've been there for on like 3 days only, so didn't have a lot of time to do that.
Whoa.
So,
If
You see,
but
that is why I spoke to her straight when I saw her, because I know she's not going to be here for long. So
wait, so what day did you arrive to Worlds? Was it the day before your comp?
yeah, unfortunately, we were planning to go there 2 days before my comp, but they rescheduled our flight. Oh no, it wasn't like this. I'm not sure. There was something that they changed the competition time, and we had to
yeah, they
rebook our
did.
flight.
They
Yeah,
did. Yeah,
something
yeah, yeah.
like this. So
Jesus.
yeah,
So
you arrive in South
not
Africa
ideal.
the day before you compete, and you went toe to toe with Jessica.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if that's not insane, I don't know what else is. I don't know what else is. So on talking about competition itself, right? I mean, just the experience, as Joey mentioned, is they, because I know you've done World Games, you've done South Africa, you're pretty much going to do more in the future. Is there a competition in your mind that you think this was the best?
When it comes to my performance, I'd say Classic Worlds in Africa. That was like, yeah, I went 8 out of 9, which is the most I've ever done. I've never managed to go 9 out of 9. Plus, like, I think that attempt selection was pretty much perfect. Maybe apart from that bench, I'm not sure. I mean, I think it was a good decision, but it just wasn't there on the day.
yeah.
Maybe I could get more on deadlift, but yeah, strength wise and performance wise, I would say Classic Worlds. And when it comes to uh, like organization of the meets, I would say either South Africa or Norway last year. That was a pretty good meet too.
Yeah.
So you love South Africa, because even myself, I like South Africa in terms of like the results, the venue. Although that venue in the morning it was bloody cold. It was cold as hell in the morning. I remember me looking for people to turn the heating on. They were like, the heating is on. I was like, no, you guys are trying to save on gas or something. This place is cold. So, but the venue was beautiful.
Yeah, and the warm-up room was huge.
Huge. Well, you could play football in the warm-up room and you still have space.
Yeah.
So yeah, again, that I think is great, Agata. And the other thing I wanted to ask, in terms of like, I know you mentioned bench being your favorite lift, and squat and deadlift not so much. Is it because the love you have on the bench, that's why actually you don't put too much effort on a squat and deadlift? Or is it just something that you know what, I don't need to push on the squat, I don't need to push on the deadlift because I have a big bench?
No, I actually really like to push my squat a bit more. I feel like it's a bit stays behind compared to my other two lifts. But like, I just like bench because it's not as tiring as squats and deadlifts. You can just lay on the bench and move your arms. It's really nice. Like doing set of 10 on bench and doing a set of 10 on squats or deadlifts is like
completely
a whole
different.
different world.
Yeah. Well, you would go. Yeah, again, I know we're diving into your bench now. I might as well ask this because I was curious earlier. How did you learn your technique for bench? Because obviously people, you know, watch different lifters. Like there's the Daiki Kodama from Japan, and then there's people that have big bench, like I don't know, like Brett Gibbs. Once upon a time he had like one of the biggest bench. Actually, even Owen Hubbard, with his crazy arch and everything from Britain as well. But what? How would you describe how you learned, or your style even?
So at the beginning, I learned from the coach that, like the main coach in our powerlifting club.
Mm-hmm.
He's pretty knowledgeable when it comes to bench technique. And then I don't know, I guess it just came naturally when I started benching 5 times a week. It just happened.
5 times a week.
So,
How do you see? How does your shoulders survive after 5 times a week benching? That is Jesus. That's just incredible.
It's simple. She's just built different, bro. Honestly,
True,
just from her
true.
training alone, it's just nuts, man.
Um, Talking about the Britain as well. I know I'm gonna plug this in, is because I know British powerlifting is coming up, right? And in the 76, we have go the Sophia Ellis, we have go the Suzanne, they're all coming in, so coming up. So is there anyone that in Britain, I'm talking about all the great weight class across juniors, seniors, male, female, is there anyone in Britain that you look yourself thinking, whoa, that's a force that is coming? Is there anyone? Of course, not me, because you already know me. Yeah, me, I'm already in the map. So, yeah, someone else apart from me.
well, to be honest, I haven't been that much into the British side of powerlifting.
You don't
More
really
like your
follow a
friends.
lot on Instagram, I take it.
Oh, some people, but yeah, not a lot.
Not a lot, yeah. But on the other end of that, would you say after this year's Worlds that your followers just went up like crazy on Instagram?
Yeah,
Yeah?
definitely.
What was it before? Do you remember?
Not really, but like it started going up when like King of the Lifts
Oh
started
yeah.
reposting my videos and invited me to the podcast, then the Worlds, and then the World Games. So yeah, I, but I've made my Instagram account after Norway. I mean, after the Worlds in Norway last year.
Uh-huh.
They started using it at the beginning of the year, so I didn't have much time to grow my followers. Yeah.
I mean you're on the right path of like, getting the attention and everything right now. And on that though, on the Instagram end, do you ever get any messages like from the most random of places and just think, what is this?
There's that like weird messages in the what is it called in English?
DMs?
Yeah, but like not DMs, but the when you don't follow someone and they
Oh,
want to send you a message.
the message request.
Oh yeah, there
Yeah,
are
yeah,
a lot
yeah.
of weird ones there. Like
Is there one that stands out, like the weirdest one?
The one that you read, you go like, what the hell is this?
there are some when I'm just really don't know how to, like I don't really understand what they're trying to convey. Let me find this. That would be that. Okay, I don't really remember, but yeah, basically, when someone's telling you that they love you because they saw you lift, it's like, hello.
I mean, they're not wrong. Your lifts are beautiful. So I mean, what's not to love? You get what I mean?
I mean, I'm surprised you're not gonna get like a marriage proposal after your bench press 145. Someone go like, "Can you marry me, please?"
But there was a dude who was like, hey, my friend wants to hook up with you. Can you answer me, please?
Whoa, that's so out of
Okay.
That is brilliant. They just want to have a big, strong babies. So no, so why not? So yeah.
Back to back to powerlifting though. I did do a little bit of homework, and usually I ask people like, is there anyone in your country, in your nation, that you're looking out for? But when I look at your national championships, the gap even there is immense. Like in the 760s, I don't know if it's because of the new weight classes I know they changed. They got rid of the 72 and added the 69 and 76.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's because of that, but what I think there was like what over 100 kilo difference between you and second place in Polish Poland nationals, right? Like, does it? I don't know. It's you're number one. Does it not feel lonely being at the top all the time? Like there's no one to go against, and your only choice is to go internationally to find I don't know some form of I don't know challenge.
Yeah, it's not ideal. I like fighting with people, so not having anyone in Poland, yeah, it's a bit sad. But then again, I can compete with my guy friends at the gym.
Yeah, yeah, but that's not the point though. You're meant to compete against people in your weight class, not in another like gender. You know what I mean?
Well,
So hold
personally,
on,
the
hold on.
challenge.
Let me get this right. Because you don't have competition in Poland, your mindset is to compete against the male lifters in Poland.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not gonna lie, you got me there because I haven't even checked the male side. I only checked the female side, and that's why I said there was that gap between the second person that came in your nationals. So is it the 74s you're comparing yourself against, or is it the 83s? What is it?
Well, when I'm comparing my meet results, usually 71st and 83s, but I'm just talking about people I train with at the gym. We're like having small competitions and who can bench more, who can deadlift more, and we just compare our lifts. So we
Are you like first place there as well? Because if you are,
oh, not really. I
oh
have
no,
to
okay, cool, okay,
increase
so
my
that
bench bit.
okay, so
So we,
there's still hope, yeah, because 145 for a female is still a lot.
There's
You
a
know what
lot
I
of
mean?
bench. That's a
It's a
lot of
it's a it's a
kilos.
lot for a guy, if
That's a
anything.
lot of kilos. On talking about the nationals here, because I know Agata, some nationals like the French, the federation, they do support athletes in terms of like paying for the expenses to go to world, paying for the basically travel accommodation. How does the Polish federation work?
they used to pay for the transport, accommodation, and stuff like that for best lifts for like the ones who had the biggest chance of winning a medal.
Hmm.
But then in 2020 they lost the lawsuit and we lost the like government funding, and now we have to pay for everything ourselves. I
Whoa.
mean, maybe not everything because sometimes they pay for like, for example, they paid for the uh, transport to the World Games because they got money from the government. But apart from that, I had to pay for everything this year.
Does it include
But
drug test and athletes fees, entry fees?
yeah,
Do you pay that yourself?
yeah.
Wow, that's massive. That's massive because I think we had Coco here from France. Um, one thing you mentioned, even Anna mentioned this, just for those expenses to be taken away from athletes does help some way or another. It helps brings people to the sport, number one. And number two, it helps the athlete to just focus on the lifting. Do you think that's probably the factors that is helping some nations?
Yeah, definitely. Like I, for example, just take money from my scholarships that I get from the uh, like from the
University.
university, yeah,
Hmm.
and I use it for powerlifting because I still live with my mom, so I don't have to pay for my house and stuff. But if I had to pay for everything, then I don't think I'd have money to compete internationally because like
Yeah, that's
where would I take it from?
crazy.
Or I have to work as well and stuff like that. So
Wow.
that definitely helps a lot.
Do you think that's why the Polish national team right now isn't as big as it used to be? Because I remember there was a few back in 2018, even in 2019, that went to the World Championships. Is it because would you say that the loss of funding from the government impacted how many lifters actually go out to compete internationally?
Yeah, I think so. It's like people just don't want to or can't spend so much money on this.
Yeah.
Plus, like there are other federations. and
Exactly.
Some
Yeah,
people
to choose
probably
from.
switched.
But
Oh.
what was it about the IPF and everything, or even the sport you're doing, that made you decide to stay even after the funding was lost? Because like the financial factor is a big thing. Like, it's not cheap to fly out to XYZ country. It's not, easy to just take time off, I guess, your studies or work even for literally, I don't know, the sport you love. Like, what made you decide to carry on like spending your own money instead of being paid for, or like being supported by government funding?
Well, first of all, it's drug tested. It's the biggest drug tested federation.
Hmm.
Plus, the level in other federations on like a national level in Poland isn't as high, and I wanted to compete with someone and not just go to the meet, go 3 out of 9 and win. So
I mean,
just because of
isn't
that.
that what's happening now for you? I mean, you're not
Uh,
you basically won with your openers at your last nationals, did you not?
but like, yeah, I'm talking about international
Oh, right,
meets.
okay,
Okay.
okay. Sorry. I thought you meant just nationally and everything, but
No, no.
I mean, yeah, that's pretty sad if you go to an international and just win on your openers. That's
So basically, it's the competition that attracted you to IPF.
Yeah.
what.
That's really interesting. Really interesting. What about you guys in terms of like membership in Poland? Because here in the UK, we have a yearly membership we pay, all of us, right? All of us pay. I mean, let me just talk in euros because probably that's what, like 49 euros, let's say, make say a year for that membership. Do you guys have something similar to that?
Yeah. Let me just check how much euros that would be. Around 20 euros a year.
Oh wait, is it because the junior membership is different to open senior, or is it all the same?
Oh, I don't know, honestly.
Oh, well, okay, fair enough. Because I know
Haven't been
I
a
know
senior yet.
because I know over here there's a difference between the junior membership and a senior membership or open membership. So yeah, that's I don't know. Maybe that price difference, that must have been the reason for it. But that being said,
Maybe.
though, like, you know, you said that the sport itself, it hasn't exactly died down, but it hasn't exactly grown. Is there anything that you yourself or people that you know that's trying to grow the sport? I don't know, like over here we have like grassroots, they start them from like, like little clubs here and there, powerlifting clubs. Like, would you say that there are powerlifting clubs being formed over there, or is there like, I don't know, just anything to make the sport a bit more, not mainstream, but just a bit more known, like to the normal gym goer?
Oh, yeah. Um, we have some bigger like powerlifting teams, I would say, like clubs teams. Uh, First of all, I think the mm, organizing a meet and
Hmm.
trying to make it as much lifter friendly as possible. But mm, like, about going mainstream, I don't know if you can do anything to make it more mainstream. Honestly, like
Yeah, I mean, like, well, the example that I could think of right now is like, in as well as like CrossFit gyms here. In CrossFit gyms itself, they have like powerlifting clubs, and then like
oh,
they have classes for powerlifting. So anyone that wants to join in as a group, they learn how to squat together or bench together, or whatever they're doing. And even in like the more like, how would you say, commercial gyms. Like I remember like a month, last month or 2 months ago, there was actually a novice powerlifting competition in a commercial gym.
oh,
Yeah, so I don't know if it's anything remotely close to how it is over there. because I don't, Jonas, I don't know if you know this, but Pure Gym held a novice competition, but
I- I-
up in I think Manchester or something like that.
Okay, that's amazing. So do you have something similar to that in Poland as well?
Uh, hmm, maybe some small meets for like people who are not really into competing in powerlifting,
Mm.
like just some benching and stuff. They, I don't know, can't really think of anything else.
Oh.
Do you see more genius coming out Poland, or it's just those seniors that lifted a few years ago, disappeared and came back again? Because you came new to the scene, you came out of nowhere, you come in and it blew everyone out of the water. You're different, but do you see around you, around the federation itself, is there any more juniors coming and sub juniors? Because that's the future of the sport, is juniors and sub juniors. Do you see them popping up?
Oh, I'd have to look at the results from meets and see how many people competed. But like, yeah, there are many new faces, but it's usually that. I mean, there are a lot of juniors who just come compete once or twice and they stop competing because they get bored or something. So it's kind of
Oh.
hard to say.
I mean, if they compete against you and lose, I would say that's boring. Actually, you know what? That
I
being said, when you did your when you won your first nationals, and obviously I'm guessing nobody really knew what you could do. Was there anyone that you saw that was like the favorite to win, and then you came and you were like, nah, you're not gonna win today?
hmm, oh wait, I won my first nationals. Well, like, are we talking about juniors or open?
Any, any.
Any?
Oh, I don't really remember. Well,
Uh,
hmm, I'm trying to think of me. Maybe when I first my first like best lifter,
mhm.
first place best lifter for the first time.
Yeah,
Yeah, there was another girl who would always win this, and this in
but now you're there
2021.
in 2021. Obviously,
Yeah,
you're there now, and you're just gonna win it all the time.
no, unless I bomb out or get injured.
But that's what I'm saying. Like that's what it takes now, because of you. Like I would say the ecosystem, you know, of the powerlifting in Poland has changed ever since you came in. Like there was someone that could have been a favorite to win in the 76 class, not anymore. There was someone that was the favorite to win best female lifter, not anymore. It's all you now. I mean, to some, that should be inspiring. So that being said, like, do you get people from, say, your own weight class talking to you, other people from different weight classes, females talking to you, like, wow, like you're so strong. What is like what's the I don't know the social aspect of it all saying?
I don't know.
So nobody
Like,
really talks to you.
yeah, they do, but it's like I'm trying not to talk about too much about myself. So we're just like talking like friends, talking about competing and stuff. I don't like those talks when it's all about me and how much I can do. Like,
Okay,
what can I say then?
I don't know.
So
Maybe to
would
encourage them a little bit. I don't know. Yeah, sorry, Jules, you were saying.
with that, Agata, when Joey mentioned about talking, there's a question like pretty much we discussed about in the previous episode of people in terms of like, when you're in a meeting or you're in a meet, right? You're in a competition. Some people will say, "Oh yeah, I'm in the zone. I don't want to talk to anyone," right? And when I'm locked in, I don't hear anyone. No one else care. It matters anymore. It's just me. I don't want anyone to come close. Do you get that in when you're competing as well? Because the reason I'm asking that because I was in South Africa with you. Every time I was looking at your face, you were just babbling. You were just smiling. So some people, you look in their face, you think like, oh my god, if I look at her for the second time, she's gonna slap me because their face, they are in the zone. Do you get into that as well?
No, I just listen to to the music. Sometimes I talk to people, or I just focus on the lift. But I don't know. It takes me really literally few seconds to focus on the lift. So you can often see when I get on the platform, I'm singing to myself, smiling and stuff. But once I approach the bar, my face gets all serious, and that's when I'm focused on the lift. And I don't really need to get into that zone because it takes me a few seconds to completely switch the modes. Plus, like, I just really enjoy being at the meet, so I can't help smiling.
Because you're just having that much fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because as well, you know you're stronger.
Not always.
I think we're just in time for a few final questions, if that's all right with you, Agata. Yeah.
Hey,
Do you want to go first, Jones?
Yeah, I got two final questions. Number one is I know you chose to compete as an 84 at the juniors, and potentially that will be this decision you're going to make as well for the European Championship. So you will give pretty much all the 76 in Europe a little bit a fresh air to breathe there. Are we seeing an Agata permanently moving 84 in the future?
I'm not planning to do that yet. We'll see in a few years, but for now, I'm planning to stay in the 76s. That's the weight where I feel comfortable, and I have a few goals to accomplish there.
Okay.
So basically, you're relinquishing your 76 European Championship to someone else to win this year, right?
That's so nice of you.
That's so nice of you. Really appreciate that. My last and final question, again, is pretty much about I know we spoke about it already in terms of the numbers, right? What you're expecting and what you're gonna get, what you're looking toward to get. So me, it's just a note about that. It's about what the future hold for Agata. How long would Agata be powerlifting, and what is Agata's goal in powerlifting?
I want to compete for as long as possible. So I don't know, 50 years or longer, as long as I'd be able to. Well,
Jesus.
I mean, we'll see. Maybe I'll get bored at some point, you know?
And then do
you never know, but...
And then do what? CrossFit?
Yeah, CrossFit games. So, I have very ambitious goals that might sound a bit unrealistic, but anytime I set a lifetime goal, I just go and hit it like a few months later. So
Jesus.
700 kilo total row, and why not 1,000 kilo total equipped? That's the goal.
1,000 kilo equipped. 1,000.
It's not my idea. I wasn't the first person to say it, but once I heard it, I was like,
yeah, okay, why not?
Let's do
why
it.
not?
that 700 kilo classic total, I kind of see it.
Equipped total.
And I mean, no, she's talking about raw 700 kilos.
Oh, right. Yeah. Sorry.
So, and I kind of see it, and I'm not going to be surprised if I see it very soon in the next few years, and maybe 1 or 2 or even 2.5. Wouldn't be surprised. Would not be surprised. So yeah, that is me there for my final 2 questions. So good luck with those goals. I will be watching.
I had 2 last questions also, but because of what you just said, I'm gonna bump it to 3. I'm gonna start with the more recent one. And you said you wanna compete for as long as possible. I know right now you're at juniors, you're still studying. Do you believe, like, or do you plan to somehow still make time to train, even though you're working, or say for example you've moved out, bought your own house, start paying like bills like mortgages, everything like that? Do you believe that training will still be a priority for you then?
Yep.
Yeah.
Like that's literally my entire life, and the rest is just waiting for the gym time. So I'm like,
okay.
my
Okay.
entire day is just waiting for gym.
Whoa. Okay. So dedicated still. Okay. So the original last 2 questions I had was, I know we're gonna go back, but we're going back to the whole Carlina thing, and you said you expect that 600 total plus from her soon, right? Do do you think A, that you'll match the 600 plus also? I know you said you achieve your goals like sooner than always. And B, do you what do you think she will pull to get that 600 plus from what you've seen?
Oh, I haven't really. I'm not sure what her deadlift is.
But you still
I
expect the
haven't done
600.
that. It looks pretty possible for her,
Yeah? Yeah, yeah.
but I guess around 250 plus at least,
Okay. So
maybe
no
more.
so it's not exactly near, well it's near but not exactly where Jess Butner is, right? So it comes to the final question I have, all right? The final question. I know we spoke about you cheering on Jess Butner on her last deadlift and then she won. Say, for example, the same thing happens in Malta next year, right? Whether it be
Mm,
Jess Butner or whether it be Carlina, you're right now, before their last deadlifts, you're first. Like you're the first, like in terms of like the subtotal. But if either of them get it, or attempt to get it, sorry, would you still do the same thing again and cheer them on, even though this is your chance to win a world championship? You know, this is your second time around. This is not your first time round. This is your second time round. Would you still cheer them on, or would you be a bit more upset this time?
I don't know, honestly. It's really hard to predict. I just felt in the moment like I want to see her pull that, and I was just generally happy with my performance and stuff like that. So it's really hard to say. But I lean more towards yes. I think I'd still sit there and cheer.
Whoa. You
It's
know
just
what?
exciting seeing other people lift a lot of weight.
You know what? Like, if I had to say anything literally about you, I know this is our first and ever chance to speak, but the sportsmanship, the dedication you have is just, from what I've seen, second to none. Honestly, like the whole, cheering someone on, even though they're taking the win away from you, like the fact that you train an exuberant amount, from my opinion, and still do what you do, it's highly commendable. And I cannot thank you enough for spending a bit of your time just to talk to us, giving a bit more insight about you. So again, thank you so much, Agata. Honestly, it was so nice to, talk to you, meet you, get to know you and everything. So
And
yeah.
before we go, can you show us your World Game gold medal?
Oh wait, I have it in the dark room.
Thank you.
She hasn't even unpacked it. There she is. Oh, oh my god, don't get injured. Oh my god, don't get
Yeah,
injured, please.
I no, I just fell here. Can you see it?
Oh,
Jeez, that
that's
looks
beautiful.
amazing.
That is shiny. That
It's
is
beautiful,
gold.
but yeah, but the powerlifting isn't powerlifting. It's actually weightlifting.
Oh
Oh
So you can
no.
see
no. They've ruined
that's
it. Oh
I mean,
no.
it kind of looks like a deadlift almost, but like a snatch deadlift, I guess.
no, it's not a deadlift. It's a snatch.
It
Um,
should have
It's
it should have been bench press or squat.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. So which one is heavier? Is it that one or the one at World?
This one it's bigger. It's the biggest one I have. So
Nice. And I know we're gonna go now, but is it okay if we keep that little bit of you tripping over in the video? Because
yeah,
as much as possible, I'm not we don't cut anything from the video.
it's
Okay,
okay.
okay, cool. Just so you're not too
Some
too
water on the
embarrassed.
floor.
I think that's what we're gonna use for the
No,
promos,
no, it's
Joey.
okay.
Use that for the promo. Agatha tripping with her World Game medal.
Yeah. And then send it to people like Jess and Carlina, like, oh look, she's injured. Here's your chance. Okay,
Thank
but
you
yeah,
very much, Agatha. It's been
yeah,
really an honor to have you on, and we had fun. And hopefully, I will see you at the European, so where we can talk again face to face.
Yeah, thank you for the invitation.
yeah. No
Thank
worries.
you.